Welcome to WTFaq.
A short and subjective dive into PC gaming. This week, Aliens vs Predator 2. Let's begin.
What is this madness?
A sequel to the Aliens vs Predator classic, which we covered lastly on this channel.
Does it run on modern systems?
Yes, on Windows I would recommend running the game with the unofficial custom launcher in order to gain support for higher resolutions, including proper 21:9 ultra-wide variants. I shall leave the link to the launcher in the description box below. On Linux you might have some luck with Wine, though I wasn't able to get it running at this point.
Does it stay true to the source materials?
Yes, everything in the game is like it was with its predecessor, but on steroids. The levels are bigger, more detailed and very immersive. The weapon roster has also been increased with new toys to play with for each faction, and the audio quality is significantly better than in the original Alien vs Predator game.
Are the controls any good?
The controls are more planted and feel a bit more stiff this time around, and that is a good thing. All the factions but the Alien are a breeze to control. The Alien still has issues due to its agility and wall climbing mechanic, which is harder to control than in the first game. It gets very hectic and twitchy in tight spaces, but all in all, it is manageable.
What has been improved upon in comparison to the original Aliens vs Predator?
They added a proper story with in-game cutscenes this time around, and I cannot overstate how much better that makes the whole experience feel like. The story itself is really well crafted, and you will be going through a lot of the same places in each of the 3 campaigns, experiencing the events from different perspectives each time around. I really love this idea, and after finishing the Alien campaign, you will finally have the whole storyline fall into place and the gaps filled. The other big changes besides the story are the graphics, which look way more varied this time around, and the fact that the enemies no longer infinitely respawn. This gives you some much needed breathing room during the later stages of the game. What also helps out a ton is the fact that you can now save your progress anywhere at any given time in an unlimited quantity.
What has changed with the gameplay of the 3 factions since the last game?
As a Marine you will have some new toys to play around with. You get a shotgun, grenade launcher and a rocket launcher, in addition to the traditional pulse rifle, smart gun, flamethrower and other guns from the first game. The flare system got a rework this time around, and you will only get a set number of flares to throw around. But to compensate this, you also get a shoulder lamp, which works pretty well in some of the tight corridor levels. Also you get to pilot a mech suit at one stage in the campaign, which is pretty sweet and makes you feel like an absolute badass. As the Predator, the main change in the gameplay has been made to the energy system. You no longer slowly regenerate energy automatically, but have a device which upon activation tops up your energy pool. The problem with this, however, is that in the later levels on a harder difficulty setting, you will find yourself wasting a lot of time simply refilling the energy, using a medicom to heal up and then refilling your energy again. It is not a terrible system, but it wastes quite a bit of time. New weapons for the Predator includes a spear, throwable mines and a net gun. The Alien gameplay has remained pretty much the same since the last game, with the inclusion of a pounce move, which is extremely important to master in order to quickly close the gap between you and the enemies. Given that you are still limited to only melee attacks and are as armored against the smart gun ammo as a paper is to the scissors, I would say that it is in your best interest to keep on pouncing and try to generally stay out of sight. But what is probably the most awesome part of the Alien campaign itself is the beginning. You get to evolve from a measly facehugger to a chestburster, and then into a badass marine-slaying xenomorph.
Are there any annoyances?
To be honest, not many. This is pretty much one of the best FPS titles of all time in my subjective opinion. Mainly the gripes that I have with the game are that the Predator's healing process takes up a bit too much time and the Alien controls are still a bit finicky. But those are just that, some simple gripes.
Any last words?
Aliens vs Predator 2 is exactly what an excellent sequel should be like. They took everything from the first game, expanded upon the subject in every way possible, made it bigger, better, prettier and more feature-rich. This is something that a lot of game developers today are missing with their yearly iterations of Assassin's Creed or Call of Duties. If you wish to play a good, dynamic first-person shooter from the good old days, then look no further and give Aliens vs Predator 2 a go. thank you all for watching, and may you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.